So, one of the most common questions that I get from the people I work with today is, Daniel, how do I deal with my negative emotions? How do I deal with unresolved emotions from my past? Well, I always like to start here. First, we don't deal with our negative emotions. They're not some chore that mom and dad make you do before you get to go play with your friends in the morning. And when it comes to unresolved emotions, I like to say that there's nothing to resolve because there's nothing to solve about them. Sure, we can bring understanding to these areas in our past and these memories where those emotions came from and why we experience them, but there's nothing to solve about them. See, we process our emotions. The process is feeling and then expressing them out. So I always like to start here with this mind frame first. Then what I like to go over is what an emotion actually is. An emotion is energy in motion. All emotions carry energetic signatures to them. So when we experience things like sadness, anger, frustration, fear, those carry negative energy with them. So when we experience them, we feel that energy. And when we experience happiness, love, and joy, those have positive energy to them. So we're going to feel the positive energy when we experience them. This is why it is so important and crucial to process your emotions. When we have unprocessed, unexpressed emotions, what happens is the feeling that we get, that energy, now comes from our mind down to our body, but it gets stored somewhere in our body, and they can get stored anywhere. It could be your muscles, your joints, your organs, any tissues. It can get stored all over. So we want to feel them and express them. Because as more time goes on, and as more life presents us with circumstances where we feel the negative emotions, the stronger that negative energy grows in the body wherever it is being stored. And what happens is those areas will feel dis-ease. So now if you're wondering, well, where do these emotions get stored in our body? Like, how do I know where they're stored? Well, it could be examples like this. Do you have any consistent nagging aches and pains in any of your joints? Do you have consistently tight hamstrings, quads, glutes, or calves, or any muscles? Do you consistently get headaches? Or do you randomly feel these aches and pains in your body, but in the same consistent areas? And maybe you notice that these areas get really achy and painful when you're under some kind of stress or when you are experiencing some kind of negative emotion in your life. These are subtle ways of knowing where they're being stored. It can be digestive issues even, because if we're not processing, that means we're not digesting. So we don't digest our food good enough. They can hide anywhere in the body. And what we tend to do a lot of the times when we feel these aches and pains and things is we purely focus on the physical symptoms. So if we have tight muscles or immobile joints, we will do mobility and stretching. And if we experience headaches or digestive issues, we tend to take medications to help manage the symptoms. And while those things do bring a level of temporary relief, they never truly last. So this is why it is crucial to practice mental and emotional fitness. And it is so easy to get lost in our negative emotions. See, when we experience positive emotions, as much as we want that positive energy to always be with us, it eventually runs its course and it goes away. However, when we have unexpressed negative emotions and it's stored in our body, they come with us wherever we go, doing whatever we are doing. All the past generations before us were taught, and then they taught us that you don't need to feel and express these negative emotions. Think about how many times you've been told to just get over it, to just bury them down deep, to just move on, to just be strong. I find there's no strength at all when we just run away and hide from our emotions. True strength is giving yourself the ability and allowing yourself to truly express those emotions without any judgment of yourself, without caring what anyone else thinks. So now when it comes to those past unresolved emotions that we feel we have, there is work that can be done to process those emotions. It's called shadow work. This is where we go to those darkest parts of our past, those darkest memories, the most raw and vulnerable areas in our life. It is not easy to do, but it is so important and necessary if we truly want to live a happy, more healthy, and peaceful life. There are many different practices and different modalities that you can do to help with this shadow work. So if you are someone who feels like you are suffering from past emotional trauma or past emotional wounding that has led you to have unexpressed emotions and you're looking for some relief, or if you feel you are someone who doesn't truly know how to process negative emotions when you're faced with them presently, leave me a comment, shoot me a DM, and let's talk some more. Sending you all the love and light and positivity. Thank you so much.